Welcome to The Cross Remains, your sanctuary for exploring the eternal truths of the Catholic faith. My name is Michael, and today we delve into the mystical life of one of the greatest saints and spiritual doctors of the Church, Saint Teresa of Ávila. Journey with us as we uncover her visions, her battles with doubt, her writings that transformed Christian spirituality, and her fearless reform of the Carmelite Order. Prepare to be inspired by a life where the human and the divine met in an extraordinary union of love and suffering. Teresa Sánchez de Cepeda y Ahumada was born in 1515 in the fortified town of Avila, Spain. From a young age, Teresa showed a precocious love for prayer and contemplation, often retreating into solitude to converse with God. Yet, she was also lively, intelligent, and fond of reading, especially romantic tales of knights and saints. Her upbringing blended the rigors of Catholic discipline with the warmth of family life. At just 7 years old, Teresa's desire for holiness became strikingly evident. Together with her brother Rodrigo, she attempted to run away from home, longing to become a martyr for Christ among the Moors. Though caught before leaving town, this impulsive act revealed her burning passion for God, a fire that would only grow with time. As she entered adolescence, Teresa became increasingly aware of worldly attractions. She took great care of her appearance and enjoyed socializing with friends. Yet deep within, a longing for something more meaningful tugged at her heart. Her spiritual struggle between vanity and virtue would soon reach a turning point. A severe illness in her late teens brought Teresa to the brink of death. During her suffering, she reflected deeply on the vanity of earthly life and began discerning a religious vocation. After much family resistance and inner turmoil, she entered the Carmelite monastery of the Incarnation in Avila at age 20. Teresa's first years in the monastery were marked by spiritual mediocrity. The lax discipline among the nuns, combined with frequent visits from laypeople, distracted her from deep contemplation. Though outwardly devout, she struggled with a lukewarm faith and felt spiritually stagnant. In her early 30s, Teresa experienced a profound inner awakening. A series of mystical visions and intense interior locutions began. God was calling her into deeper intimacy. Overwhelmed by these encounters, she wept with both fear and love, realizing she had wasted years in spiritual tepidity. Teresa's mystical experiences deepened into ecstasies. Witnesses often found her levitating during prayer. Her body lifted from the ground as her soul communed with God. She described these moments as being pierced by divine love beyond human description. In one of her most famous mystical experiences, Teresa described the Transverberation. An angel appeared, holding a golden spear tipped with fire, and pierced her heart. The pain was both excruciating and filled with divine sweetness, symbolizing her total union with God's love. Teresa's spiritual insights culminated in her great mystical masterpiece, The Interior Castle. In it, she described the soul's journey through 7 stages, or mansions, towards perfect union with God. The book remains a timeless spiritual classic, guiding countless souls towards contemplative prayer. Teresa's mystical life was not confined to private prayer. Burning with zeal for authentic spiritual discipline, she began reforming the Carmelite Order. Despite fierce opposition, slander, and physical hardship, she established new convents grounded in poverty, silence, and contemplative life, known as the Discalced Carmelites. Teresa's mystical experiences and reformist spirit drew suspicion. She was investigated by the Spanish Inquisition, accused of spreading dangerous ideas. Yet with divine protection and her unshakable courage, she defended her visions and teachings with clarity, wit, and theological brilliance. One of Teresa's greatest spiritual allies was Saint John of the Cross, a fellow mystic and reformer. Together, they strengthened the Carmelite reform, exchanging profound theological reflections and mutual encouragement amidst trials. Despite her closeness to God, Teresa often endured periods of profound spiritual dryness and darkness. These nights of the soul tested her faith, leaving her feeling abandoned by God. Yet she clung to prayer, trusting that such desolation purified her soul for greater union with the divine. One of the most chilling moments in Teresa's mystical journey was a vision of hell. God allowed her to see the torments reserved for unrepentant souls. She described narrow, dark passages, suffocating air, and agonizing despair. This terrifying revelation deepened her zeal for saving souls and intensified her own commitment to holiness. Teresa was gifted with numerous mystical phenomena beyond her visions: levitation, prophecy, spiritual discernment, and even miraculous healings. These were not for her glory, but served as divine confirmations of her mission and an invitation for others to trust in God's power. Despite her frail health, Teresa tirelessly traveled across Spain, founding 17 new convents. Often riding in simple carts or on horseback over rugged terrain, she faced bandits, storms, and exhaustion. Yet her mission never faltered. In her final years, Teresa's body grew weak from decades of travel, labor, and prayerful suffering. In 1582, during a journey to establish yet another convent, she fell gravely ill. With characteristic peace and acceptance, she prepared for death, whispering her last words, "O my Lord, now is the time that we may see one another." 40 years after her death, Teresa's holiness was formally recognized by the Church. In 1614, she was beatified, and 4 years later, canonized as Saint Teresa of Ávila. In 1970, Pope Paul VI declared her a Doctor of the Church, the first woman ever to receive this title, honoring her theological contributions and spiritual writings that continue to guide millions toward deeper union with God. Teresa's legacy lies not only in her mystical experiences but in her spiritual teachings. Through her works like The Interior Castle and The Way of Perfection, she urges all souls to journey inward, through layers of distraction and sin, until they reach the dwelling place of God within. Her emphasis on humility, detachment, and love remains timeless guidance for every Christian seeking holiness. In a world marked by noise, restlessness, and spiritual dryness, Saint Teresa of Ávila stands as a luminous guide to interior peace and authentic prayer. Her life teaches that even amidst human weakness, God's grace can transform a willing heart into a beacon of light for generations. The life of Saint Teresa of Ávila is a testament to the transformative power of God's love, perseverance in prayer, and the beauty of mystical union with the divine. Her writings and witness continue to call us toward deeper faith and spiritual renewal. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to The Cross Remains for more inspiring stories of faith. Click the notification bell so you never miss a new journey into the lives of the saints, the parables of Jesus, and the eternal truths of our Catholic faith. The cross remains, because His love endures forever.